invite Hao-Yi. To start off, we'll invite Hao-Yi, one of our hosts, to explain to you the Zoom etiquette. Hao-Yi, please. You're muted, Hao-Yi. You're muted. Oh.
Whoops. Okay, so sorry. So before we get started, just a quick introduction of ourselves. So we are MSL, Malaysian Student League. So we are a community of Malaysians here in NUS that to offer each other the comfort of home, be it at a place far away from home. Okay, so we would like to extend our warmest welcome to all of you here. We all are applying for NUS and you want to know more about NUS. So we are here to support you, to give you all the information that you need to make an informed choice whether or not to apply to the courses here at NUS. And if you do make it here to NUS, we would like to welcome you and have fun together at NUS. Yeah. So just a quick outline. So a quick outline of what we'll be doing today. The event will be split into two sections. So for section 1, we'll be going through the general overview of NUS. So application procedures, the financial matters here, what are some of the things you should consider when applying to NUS, and our student life here. So for section 2, after a toilet break, we'll be going through all the different course briefing. So to tell you more about all the different courses here available at NUS, and there'll be breakout rooms available if you would like to ask specific questions pertaining to any specific courses. Okay, so just to introduce ourselves again, so the host will be I, Hao-Yi, and Yong Yang. So for me, I'm a computer engineering student, and I'm in the NUS MSL Communication and Outreach Committee. So same for Yong Yang. Yeah. Yong Yang, say hi.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Yong Yang. I'm taking electrical engineering in NUS.
Okay, yeah. So frequently asked question that we received over the past few days, is that will we be receiving the slides shown at this event? The answer is yes. So we'll be sending you guys all the slides that we presented here at this event. So and also all the references should you need them to research more about any specific part of NUS. Okay, so just to go through the general Zoom etiquette here for this event. So we would like to for you to kindly mute yourself throughout the event. So as not disrupt our speakers. So don't worry, you have the chance to ask questions, and you are invited to use our virtual background to turn on your camera and use our virtual background. So to invite you to interact with us, to interact with the speakers and everywhere you can. So we will also like to invite you to not spam our Zoom chat so that people who can ask questions, they can ask the question that they need. And yeah, so and also be nice and specific when you ask questions in the Zoom chat. So any specific causes or any specific aspect of student life that you want to know more, just be specific in the question. So there will also be moderators throughout this event who guide you and to assist you. Should you need any assistance, to direct you to any seniors or any breakout rooms that you should go to ask your questions. Okay, so if you have any question about NUS, so there will be a Pigeonhole link available for you to ask questions. So you can see the Pigeonhole link up there. So and also to take note that different sections will have different Pigeonhole links available. So please do not use the same link to ask all your questions. So for different segments, they'll be covering different areas of NUS life. And if you want to ask any specific question for that segment, please use the specific Pigeonhole link. So if you have any specific question for a particular course, in segment 2, there will be breakout rooms available for you. So you can just join those breakout rooms and ask your questions there. Yeah. So for that, I would like to pass our time to Ziyi, where she will introduce you more about NUS in general. So Ziyi, please.
Hello. Hello guys, I'm Ziyi, and I'll be giving you a little introduction to NUS, the National University of Singapore. Next slide. First, let's look at the campus overview. The campus is actually quite big, but no worries, there will be free shuttle bus service all across the campus. Next slide. Here are some beautiful places that can be found in NUS. We have the University Town, the Business School. Next slide. And the Faculty of Science and the YSD Conservatory of Music. Well, let's move on to the most important part, the global ranking of NUS. Why is it important? Because you can flex to your friend if you actually get in. All right, you all may have heard of NUS being a very high-ranked university. But do you know how high exactly it is? Oh, okay. I revealed the answer already. So it's actually ranked the first in Asia Pacific and the 11th in the world. It's actually quite high, right? Next slide. Besides, quite a lot of courses in NUS achieve very high ranking in the world as well. Look at the picture here and see if you can find the course that you are interested in. Next slide. Well, NUS is such a high-ranked university, right? So the graduates must be very good as well lah. In fact, one of the notable alumni from NUS is none other than our most loved former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Mahathir. Well, they're all very successful, right? Want to experience studying in the same university as them? If so, pay attention to the next section of today's event, the application procedure walkthrough with my friend Xingwei. Xingwei.
Awesome. All right. So thank you so much, Xingwei, for thank you so much, Ziyi, for sharing. So we'll move on to our next segment, the financial application the application procedure to come to NUS. So we'll invite Xingwei to share lah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Hey guys, you can see my screen, right? Can?
Yes, good.
Can? Okay.
Yep.
Present. Okay, yeah, thanks guys for the intro. I'll wait till this loads. Okay, technical difficulties, but yes, thanks for the intro. Okay, great. I'll be going through the application procedure for NUS. So yeah, hi guys, I'm Xingwei. I'm a business analytics student and I'm currently staying at Ridgefield Residential College, and I'm here because I have applied to NUS before, so you can trust that I know my stuff. Yeah, so this is just an outline of what we'll go through today, namely the accepted qualifications for NUS, English requirements, as well as just going through the application together. So let's hop into it. What are the accepted qualifications by NUS? You'd be pleased to find out that there's actually many accepted qualifications that NUS accepts from Malaysia, including STPM, A-levels, IB, UEC, OSMED, and CIMP. And just in my opinion, there is a preference to UK A-level applicants with regards to receiving the ASEAN scholarship, which is a full scholarship. This is just my observation. I'm not entirely sure if this is true, but among my peers who kind of got into NUS from Malaysia, like a Malaysian pre-university qualification, the A-levels people have, like the people who took A-levels, they got the scholarship compared to those who did not, if that makes sense. Yes. And these are the deadlines for the qualifications. You can take note of them. And if you are residing in Singapore, then the qualifications accepted would be A-levels, IB, Polytechnic, and the NUS High School Diploma. These are the relevant deadlines pertaining to those qualifications, and you can take note of those as well. And just some additional resources you can check out that I've included in the slide. No worries, like they mentioned, you'll get the slide after this presentation. So yeah, we'll hop into the English requirements, whether or not you are required to take any additional English tests. The answer is not really, because only law has an English requirement to get into NUS. So it requires a high level of proficiency in the English language. You'll be proving this with like a bunch of English tests, whether it's your A-levels result or your SAT result or your IELTS result. If you are part of the non-law applicant pool like myself, then you just have to worry about this qualifying English test, which you only have to think about after you accept the offer anyway. So I'll just kind of let you know what it is. It's just an English test that the university kind of mandates so that it can test whether you have the necessary English skill to read university texts. So based on this result, they will decide whether you need to take any additional English courses in NUS. So if you would like to know whether you're exempted from this QET, these are just the exemption criteria. For example, if you have a TOEFL score of above 114, then you wouldn't have to take this test after you accept your NUS offer. But yeah, like I said, since this is only going to be conducted after you accept your NUS offer, don't worry about it too much now. If you don't have the requirements to be exempted from the QET, you might think, should I pay to get like the TOEFL or IELTS test? And in my opinion, it's not really necessary. I personally did not have the necessary requirements to be exempted. So all I did was just focus on applying to NUS and then practice for the QET accordingly so that I could get a band 3, which means I do not have to take any additional English courses in NUS. If I didn't get a band 3, I would have to either take 1 or 2 additional English courses. So that's my advice for you. There's additional resources that I've included as well. You can check it out after this presentation. Yeah, finally, the last segment is to just walk through the application, and it's really straightforward actually. So let's just run through it very quickly. When you're on the site, you can just indicate whatever qualification you're applying with, and then include a particulars, very simple. And in this section, I would recommend that because you have 8 choices of your course preference, you should populate it as much as possible so that you can maximize your chances of getting in. And if you don't get your first choice, at least you have the option of appealing to transfer to the course of your choice. So yeah, other than that, they will also ask for double degree preferences, and this one you can understand from your faculty website better. And next, they'll ask you for your educational background. Just populate accordingly, and if you have any testing that would, for example, like I said, exempt you from the QET, this is where you can indicate it as well. And next, there will be a section where you include your achievements and personal statement. And this is where NUS actually assesses you based on your aptitude, which means your passions, your interests, and your strengths as a student, apart from your grades. So this section is pretty important, I guess, to make you shine from the pool of very talented applicants that are applying to NUS anyway. So my take on it is that NUS admissions is actually still very largely based on grades, but you know, anything for an extra shot, I feel like you should still just fill it out anyway, fill out this portion to maximize your chances and don't kind of just ignore it. I've known people who kind of just like got in without filling it out, but still it's just an extra shot, like I said, so please don't disregard it. Your extracurricular achievements and your competition awards, you can just include under the achievement section. And the personal statement, I have to stress that you shouldn't just regurgitate whatever you put in your key achievements or your your achievements section as well as your grades, because this section is really something that can make you stand out from the crowd. And the 2,000 characters, which is not a lot, like maybe like that would amount to like 400 words. It's really not a lot. So you have to make use of it to make yourself stand out in a way that your achievements that you've indicated earlier and your grades that you've already put in under the education section anyway do not. So yes, I've included as well our own personal statements. You can check it out afterwards. Yeah. Final thing that I have to note is that you should make sure you have your transcripts and your result slips on hand so that you can include it in your application. These things kind of take some time, I guess, for certain institutions, depends on where you are currently studying or have graduated from. So just make sure you have that ready so that you can submit. Yeah, and final note is that if you wish to apply for RCs or halls, please look out for application windows. RCs and halls are basically where you will stay, right, as an international student. And for me, my case, I forgot to apply, and I only realized that the application window was the day that it closed on the day that I received my NUS offer. So that wasn't very fun. I had to like go through a lot of emailing and scrambling around to get my place. So yeah, look out for application windows if you're interested. And that's about it from me. You guys can shoot any questions you have through the pigeonhole.
Okay, we'll leave it here for another few seconds with the scan. All right. Okay, so we can move on. Okay, thank you Xingwei, for that comprehensive introduction to the application to NUS. Now, money is something that we are all concerned about when pursuing higher education, and it's even more so for Singapore because it's 3 times the exchange rate. But don't worry, there will be a lot of financial support available at NUS. Our next speaker will guide you through the necessary steps to ensure you're financially healthy to study at NUS without any worry. Let's invite our next speaker, Lucy.
Wait, Yongyang, there's a Q&A session.
Yeah.
Oh.
No worries, no worries. I guess I'll just take like a few of these that I can see.
No, don't worry. You have time. Yeah, you can just go
Okay,
through.
okay,
We'll kill
sure.
you when it's time. When the time is up.
Fair.
Yeah,
Nice.
thanks.
Okay. SPM English, can it be exempted? To be honest, I don't know. You should check out the slide. Because for me, I wasn't exempted. I just stick QET. But honestly, it's not that scary. Just you can do it. Yeah, for the QET. NUS fair in the application procedure. I'm not NUS, but I would like to think that it's very fair. Of course, they have some things that they look out for. We don't know what they are looking out for, but just try your best to sell yourself in your application, put in like your grades, and your aptitude-based admissions. That part is actually pretty important, I guess, if you are not as confident in your grades. So please take advantage of the fact that there is even an aptitude-based admission where you can put your achievements as well as your personal statement to just showcase what makes you different from all the other applicants, which I'm sure, NUS will attract a very smart and capable crowd to apply to NUS. So that's my advice for you. UK A-levels, easier to apply for scholarship. Apply for scholarship. The ASEAN scholarship, you actually get considered the moment you apply for NUS. So you don't even have to do anything extra. They'll just contact you when they feel like you are eligible. But this will be covered, I guess, in the later segments. It's just my observation that, like I said, the UK A-levels people from Malaysia, they managed to get the scholarship, but I haven't heard of many Malaysian pre-university students who got into NUS that are from like any other program. Personally, I'm from CIMP, so I didn't get the scholarship, but I was awarded the grant, which I don't know if it makes any sense to you now, but you might understand later on after the financial segment. So that's all I'll say. The quota for internationals, I'm sure there is a quota, but off the top of my head, I don't know right now. Maybe I'll we can like write it down and then like get back via email or something. I don't know if that's possible, Derek. Straight A stars for UK A-levels, especially comp science. I don't think so, because based on the admissions criteria website, if I remember correctly, it wasn't that you have to get all straight A stars. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, someone from comp science, but you can definitely check if there's any updates on the website regarding the criteria. Explain the NUS hall part again. So for accommodation, right, at least for RCs, which is residential colleges, there's two types of accommodation, hall and RCs. I know hall's application period is actually pretty long. So even if you wait until you get your offer letter from NUS and you apply to hall, it might still fly. But for RCs, I remember they closed the application like in March or May. I forgot, it was one of the end months, but yeah, I missed the deadline. So the intention is actually for you to apply concurrently. So you apply for residential college and NUS at the same time. It doesn't matter if you have the NUS offer or not, you just apply to accommodation together with NUS. So please look out for the application windows. Don't think that you should apply to accommodation after you get your offer. Yeah. Is it hard to get into NUS? What are the minimum grades? It really depends on your major. Unfortunately, I'm not the NUS admissions team also. So I would encourage you to check out the website for the specific grade requirements. It's all detailed out there. There's links in the presentation as well. So please check that out. It's definitely hard lah, I would say. Yeah, it's not easy, but I guess yeah, it's really relative lah. You know, yeah, it's relative. Hard is quite hard to define. What can we do to increase our chances? Grades are definitely a big part, I would say. As long as you hit your requirement that's outlined on the website, that's gonna boost your chances already. But the aptitude-based admissions is some place that you can make yourself shine, like I mentioned. And yeah, we can never really be sure why some people get in, some people don't, but these are just the ways you can maximize your chances. Any documentations under pre-U examination transcripts? If you're told that the IBO will submit the e-transcripts to local universities, you are messaging from Singapore, I'm assuming, because they are submitting it on behalf of you. If that's the case, then I'm not too sure, to be honest. If someone can chime in, that would be great from the seniors. But yeah, I'll just leave that there for now. From the phrasing, it sounds like it doesn't matter because it's already submitted, but we can check on that for you and get back via email or something. For students who take further math and H in getting into NUS, it depends on your major, right? I'm not sure if anyone has experienced like the seniors of taking further math, getting an H, but I assure you that even if it didn't make a difference in your application, the moment you get in and you take the courses and you have that further math knowledge, it's gonna really help you out. Because for me, right, I took math modules and I didn't necessarily have a strong math background and I died. Like I literally died. So, and then my friends who took further math or whatever, they were like fine. They were like, I learned this before, right? So I was like, sucks to be me. Yeah. So there's that. How many A in A level is needed to apply for NUS? Like I said, it really depends on your major. Please check out the requirements on the website. It's really very detailed and very obvious what you're supposed to have. So just aim for those, or at least check whether you have those if you already have your results. Which hall is the best hall? So I'm not from hall, so I leave to the hall people to say. Maybe they'll cover it later. I hope they will. I'm not sure, but I heard that Raffles has the most Malaysians. That's about it. Difference between RC and hall. Okay, RCs, you have to take certain courses to have a guaranteed 2-year stay in RC. So it's like more known to be more less commitment based, because you already guaranteed 2 years of your stay on the condition that you take certain courses, right? But for hall, it's different. You have to be really active in the CCAs or the extracurriculars so that you get points and then you can stay for the second year. Yeah, it's quite competitive, but it's really a different experience. Depends on what you're looking for. I would say both has pros and cons. Yeah, you can definitely messages or whatever it is to understand our experience better, or yeah, I'm sure that there'll be more sharings later on in this regard. When will we receive our offer letter if we get accepted? If we do not receive an offer letter, will NUS send an email to inform us? I got my offer letter in I'm forgetting if it's March or May, but I think it's May because I remember it was like quite close to the middle of the year. So yeah, I heard of people getting it later than me and earlier than me. It depends on what qualification you applied with. But these are, when you will receive the letter, it's actually outlined on the website. But then again, I would say just to keep checking your email, because for me, they said I would get my results in like July. And I was like, July. I'm supposed to go into uni in like August, and then you tell me in July. But thankfully, they got back like in May. So yeah, please check your email. Just refresh every day. They'll just tell you whether you got in or not. So yeah, be diligent with checking your email. Do I apply with forecast grades or actual grades? Where do we fill in our grades? It's in the third segment, like I covered just now. There's an education segment that you can fill in your grades. Preferably, I would say with actual grades, because for forecast grades, I'm pretty sure, actually for A-levels, maybe I'm not the best person to ask, but in my case, I remembered for forecast grades, I was asked to take the SAT so that I could put down my forecast grades. But if anyone can chime in on forecast grades for A-levels, let me just sound out. But there's also a segment for you to like pick whether you are submitting forecast grades or not. So yeah, there's actually a lot of details on the website in this regard. I'm not sure if it's updated or not from previous years, but please be wary that if you submit forecast grades, you might be asked to take additional tests like the SAT that you pay to sit for and get a result, so that you can kind of submit to NUS first, so that they know that your level is this or that. Yeah. Do NUS students get enough sleep? You know that triangle, like the famous triangle, like quick sleep, grades, and fun, I think. Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. So you have to balance, pick two, and you'll survive. Something like that. Yeah. This business course hard to get into. Business people, anyone want to chime in? I would say every NUS course is hard to get in because the grade requirements are higher than average, I guess. But don't be discouraged. Still apply. Just try your best. I mean, there's nothing to lose. Just apply.
There will be like courses segment later on. So like for those who are asking course specific questions, so you can wait until like like our later half of the event to ask like course specific question to the presenters. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, I look forward to those presentations. Are most MSL students from SG or Malaysia education system? We have a good mix lah. I'm personally from Malaysia education system. A lot of us here have been here since secondary school though. So there's a good mix. So does NUS really care about extracurriculars? Like I said, I'm not NUS admissions, but I would say it's a good way for you to stand out, especially because everyone is probably applying with very high grades. It's NUS. Yeah, they're attracting a lot of like bright people anyway. So it's a good way for you to stand out. Is it if I got IELTS with grade 8, then I can be exempted from QET, but if I didn't take IELTS, I'm required with grade? Yes, correct. You got it right. So if you have a grade 8 IELTS now, just include it in your application, then you don't have to worry about QET after you are accepted into NUS. But if you are not with this grade 8 score, no worries as well, because you just have to get into NUS and then sit for this 1 day testing and then get band 3, and you don't have to worry about it ever again. Can I consider a double degree after submitting the application? I know you can declare another major, you can pick up another major, but for double degree, anyone has any knowledge? Because my impression is that you apply for the double degree program and then you get accepted for it, like, you know, as part of your NUS application. But yeah, I'm not a double degree student, so anyone has any ideas can chime in. Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah,
there's
Chris said.
Yep, sorry. So yeah, there's an answer in the Zoom chat. So you can still apply for a double degree after your first year, but then like I think after that will be a bit hard. Yeah. So just to think about that. Yeah.
It's just tougher. Yeah, just have to be really smart. Is there an interview process? Depends on your degree. I'm not sure which has interview, but for business analytics, there was an interview. I'm thinking law would have an interview, but I can't be too sure. 11 more questions. Is that all the questions? I think that's about it. No problem. Happy to connect. What happens if you get NTU SME offers before NUS? Okay, I got my NTU offer after NUS. So no, they don't come at the same time. You just have to keep looking out for an email. Some of them might do, I guess, play some dirty tricks. I feel like NUS played some dirty tricks on me anyway, because they gave me like a 1 week window to like accept, and I just had no other option. I was like, do I accept it? Do I accept it? And then after I accepted, only I got my NTU offer. So it was like I couldn't even consider NTU anymore. So yeah, no, they might not come at the same time. You just have to know what you want, I guess. Thankfully, actually, I wanted NUS the most, so it was like a no-brainer kind of like decision for me. But if you happen to get into that kind of fix, it's just like, yeah, you kind of just have to make tough decisions, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, the current Q&A session is left at 2 minutes, so you can still accept another 2 more questions.
If you guys want, you can also just unmute.
Yes, feel free to unmute yourself. Maybe you want to share your your LinkedIn with them if they want to connect with you to ask more questions.
Okay, sure.
Would you mind? Sure. You can type in the chat box.
Medical students apply this ASEAN scholarship. Quota. ASEAN scholarship, I'm sure they have a quota, but I have no idea what their selection process is also. Personally, I didn't get that magical email saying that I was eligible. So yeah, it's like, you just know if you get the email. And medical students apply for scholarship as well. Are they eligible for ASEAN? Oh, I'm not sure. No? It says no. No.
I think it's very hard to get medical school at NUS as an international student in the first place. So I think it's very hard by itself. Then to get scholarship on top of it is hard. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Singwei, for the comprehensive introduction to the application process to NUS. Now, money is very important to all of us, as we all know, when it comes to studying, whether you want to study in the UK, the US, or even Singapore. And It's even more so because in Singapore, it's 3 times the currency of Malaysia ringgit. So our next speaker, Rusin, will tell us more about the financial support that you can get from NUS. Should you face any difficulties? Rusin, please.
Hi guys, let me share my screen first. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Okay, so now I will be sharing about financial matters. And in the meantime, y'all can put up any burning question during my sharing. And the link for the Pigeonhole will be on the top, which is pigeonhole.ad/MSL2. And this Pigeonhole link is different from the previous one. So this one you can put like any burning question, or you have any question in mind for regarding like scholarships, financial aid, or loans, bursaries. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, so hi, I'm Rusin. You can call me Jennifer, and I'm currently studying life science and live in King Edward 7 Hall. Yeah, the best hall. Okay, so what will we be covering today will be like the cost of living here, and the tuition grant. What is tuition grant? Like the loans available for y'all, and the scholarships and the bursaries. Let's get started. Okay, so this is the flow for today, and I will be starting to talk about the tuition fee first. Okay, tuition fee is basically how your money gone in Singapore. Okay, so this is the list for tuition fees. You just need to focus on the one that I highlighted in red. So what's the difference between these two? As an example, if you want to apply for like computing, then you need to pay for like $17,550 per year if you are receiving the MOE tuition grant, which I will explain later what is tuition grant. Yeah. And then what about the yellow color one? Like, wow, it's damn X. $38,200. This one is if you do not want to apply for tuition grant, then you need to pay for the full fees, which is like double the price if you get the tuition grant. Yeah. So most of us usually we will need to pay for this amount showing here. Next, other than tuition fee, we also need to pay for the miscellaneous student fees. As showing here, we have like lab-based student service fee and not non-lab-based. This is for like if you apply for dentistry, medicine, or science, which require lab, then you will need to pay like $100 per semester. And if you apply for like business, which is like non-lab-based, just like $90. And other than that, you will need to pay for the health service fee. For us, it's just like $100 per semester. So it's around like $200 per semester. Yeah, it's not too much for this section. Okay, so next I will start to share about tuition grant. Okay, this one's very important, so do take note of this. Okay, so what is tuition grant? Tuition grant is given by the Singapore government to help to cover our tuition fees in Singapore. And then this is not compulsory to take out tuition grant, but do take note that if you do not take up tuition grant, right, then you will need to pay for the non-subsidized tuition fee that I showed you just now, like the yellow color one. Yeah, this one, if you do not want to take up tuition grant. So if you want to take up tuition grant, then the criteria is that you are required to secure employment and serve in a Singapore entity for 3 years after you graduate. So you will need to work for 3 years under Singapore company after your graduate. So one important thing to take note that if you choose not to take up tuition grant, right, then you will not be eligible for any scholarships and financial aid, such as we have loans, bursaries, which is under NUS. So it is very important. So please apply for tuition grant if you want to be eligible for any scholarships or financial aids. Disclaimer is that not everyone can get tuition grant, but do apply for it. Actually, most of us can get tuition grant, if I'm not wrong. So next, I will share about how to sign up for tuition grant. This is like the application flow when you apply for NUS. Then under the section 5, under information, you will see the tuition grant section. And if you want to apply for tuition grant, right, then you just simply click the second one. I am an international student and wish to apply for tuition grant. And if you do not want to apply for tuition grant, then you just simply click the third one. Okay, so this one is very simple. You just simply click the one you want. Then after this, okay, this one is the timeline for tuition grant application. The first one I have just shown you just now in the NUS application. You just tick, yes, I want to apply for tuition grant. How about the next step and the third step? So the second step, you see the timeline is range from 1st of September until 8th of September. And you will receive an email from the Ministry of Education of Singapore. They will notify you, okay, do you want to apply for tuition grant? And they will ask you to activate the TG online account and apply for TG. Yeah, they will show you how to apply for TG. So no worries. Just wait until like July or August after you get an offer letter from NUS. And the third step is just simply sign and submit your TG agreement, and you are done for tuition grant. Okay, so things to consider before applying for tuition grant, whether I need to apply for tuition grant or no lah, I don't want lah. Yeah, so the things to consider is if you apply for tuition grant, right, so you are eligible to the NUS scholarships such as the ASEAN scholarship, the full scholarships, and the financial aids by NUS. And the second thing is no need to pay for tuition fees or if you got the full scholarships. Yeah, the thing to consider is if you apply for tuition grant, right, then you will need to serve 3 years of bond in a Singapore entity, which is company. And the next thing is to consider you need to apply for deferment of bond if you want to further your studies after you graduate. Yeah, so do take note of this when you apply for tuition grant. Okay, this is the next section. I'll be sharing about financial aids. Okay, this is also very important. So the available financial aid schemes which is available for you is such as we have loans with covering your tuition fee. We have 2 loans, and then we have like loans and bursaries which covering your living expenses in Singapore, and your residential college bursary and hall bursary which covering your accommodation fee, which is your hostel fees. Okay, next, the overview for financial aids, right? You just need to submit 1 financial aid application to NUS to be considered for all the available NUS financial aid package, which include your tuition fees, your living expenses, your accommodation fee. So you just need to submit 1 application. And this one is the step to apply for financial aid. And the first step is just simply indicate your interest in your application form to NUS. So the same thing, this is your application form to NUS. Under other information, you will see the financial aid. So if you want to apply for financial aid, right, you just simply click yes, and you will need to fill out the details for like your gross monthly household income and your number of family members working. Yeah, just fill in the form. Then the next step will be submit your application. Okay, so after you submit your application to NUS, you need to apply under NUS Financial Aid Portal with your admission application number and PIN. Okay, so you can do this after you submit your application to NUS, then you need to apply for financial aid. And do take note that the deadline is open throughout the year. So no worries if you apply very late. And one thing to consider is that if you want to be qualified for the NUS donated bursaries, do apply from 15th October, which is last year, until your admission closing date, which is I think mostly around February or March. And do take note is that this applies even if you have yet to be offered admission to NUS. So if you haven't get offer letter from NUS, no worries, just apply for the financial aid. Okay, so please apply as early as you can. Yeah. Then next, submit your supporting documents. And you can refer to the list of documents to submit at the financial aid portal and just upload all relevant supporting documents such as like your parents' household income, like income tax, salary slip. And the deadline to submit is within 2 weeks of your online submission date. So if you apply for financial aid on like 1st of January, as example, then you need to submit all the supporting documents by 14th of January. So it's like 2 weeks time. So next, okay, this is just an example of the supporting document. No worries, this NUS will email to you and you can refer to this in the financial aid portal. Next, do check your application status. So check your email regularly after you apply for the financial aid, because usually NUS will send you some email regarding your application status, and maybe they will ask you for submitting some important document that you missed. So do check your email regularly, especially your junk mail also. Okay, finally, accept NUS financial aid package. So just refer that NUS send you an offer letter for the financial aid, and just refer to their financial aid acceptance guide on how to accept the financial aid. Okay, so the last step is just complete the financial aid process. Maybe you have eligible for any like study loan or student assistance loan, so you will need to sign for the agreement. But no worries, NUS will send you an email to notify you on when to sign for the agreement. It ranges roughly from July to August this year. And finally, you are done for the entire process. Yay. So this is just the summary of the financial aids we have. For loans, which means that you need to pay back after you graduate, we have tuition fee loan, NUS study loan, and NUS student assistance loan, And for bursaries, we have 3 bursaries, which is also NUS donated bursaries, and hall bursary, which covering your hostel fee and also the residential college bursaries. So the first loan I will be talking about is the tuition fee loan. So the value for the tuition fee loan is 90% of the subsidized fee paid by the Singaporean. What does it mean? So no worries, I have this out an example. So if the Singaporean, their tuition fee is around like 10,000 Sing dollar, and then the loan given to them will be 9,000, which is 90%, right? So what about us? We as an international student, our tuition fee is like double the price for compare with Singaporean. So roughly maybe 20,000 or more. Then the loan given to us is the same with the Singaporean, which is just like 9,000. So you will need to pay like 11,000 after the loan given to you. And do take note that this loan is tenable for the entire undergraduate course duration. Means like if you apply this year for this loan, then next year or year 3 or year 4, you no need to apply for this loan again. So you just need to apply for once and that's all. Yeah, for this loan. Who is eligible for this loan is actually everyone, I would say, but except full fee paying international student who chose not to take up the tuition grant. I've just shown you just now. So remember to apply for tuition grant. If not, you will not be eligible for any financial aids. Deadline for tuition fee loan. For international student, it will be 3rd Friday of July, but no worries because late applications are still accepted. So you can still apply after this timeline. Okay, next, I will be talking about NUS study loan, which is under the NUS financial aid package. So what's the value for the study loan? And actually, they have 2. As you can see, the A part is like the loan which only covers like 10% or 20% of the fee paid by the Singaporean. And the second one, they have extra 3,600 Sing dollar a year for your living expenses. Yeah. So it depends whether you will need to have extra cash for your living allowance in Singapore. And same thing, the loan is no need to apply. So no re-application is required. So you just need to apply for this year and you are tenable for your 4 years of study in NUS. And who is eligible? Okay, this one is a bit different from the previous loan because they assess based on the monthly household per capita income. So what's the definition of this? You can see here. So, okay, this one is referred to the total gross monthly income of all those living in the household divided by, okay, simple words is like if your parents are working, both of your parents are working, so maybe they earning like $5,000 together, then you will need to have total of 5,000 divided by 2. So it will be $2,500. So you already exceed the criteria they want. The criteria is like $1,200. So it's Sing dollar lah. So maybe you times 3 is around like 4,000 ringgit, around that, to be eligible for this study loan. And same thing, application is applied under the NUS Financial Aid portal. And do note that you must apply for the tuition fee loan as well if you want to get this loan. So this loan, the tuition fee loan and the NUS study loan come together. Okay, finally, the last loan I will be talking is the NUS Student Assistance Loan. It's also under NUS Financial Aid package. The loan varies according to your financial need and whether they have available of funds. For last year, my friends around me, they received around like $1,000 for this loan a year. So it's not too much for this loan. It's just like extra assistance for you for like your tuition fees or your living allowance. And who is eligible? They see based on your financial need. Like if you are very financial needy, they will let you to have the assistance loan, and the value will be higher based on your financial needs. Yeah. Same thing apply under NUS Financial Aid portal. And the repayment, okay, this you no need to worry for now, as you will need to pay for the loan after you graduate. And this is interest-free loan. Yeah, no need to worry about this first. And next, I will be covering about bursaries. Okay, this one is free money, like scholarship, kind of. So the bursaries is called NUS donated bursaries, and the value is at least $900 per year. It can go up to like $5,000 or more, I would say. Yeah, it's quite a lot. Like $5,000 is equivalent to like 15,000 ringgit. Yeah, but do take note that this bursary is only up to 1 year. So you will need to apply every year. So if you apply for this year, then next year you need to submit your application again to be eligible for this bursary. And who is eligible? Like needy full-time undergraduate. The same thing apply under NUS Financial Aid portal to be eligible for these bursaries. Then after you receiving these bursaries, right, then you will required to submit letters to donors and maybe have some meetup section with them and provide assistance with them. Yeah. Then the next thing will be college grants or hall bursaries. And I would not provide any further details for this, as the value and eligibility for the grants vary. So do refer to their respective website for more information. As a summary, for NUS administered financial aid, we have loans, which is NUS study loan, NUS student assistance loan. For bursaries, which is the free money, is NUS donated bursaries. And you will be automatically be considered for all the following options upon one application under the NUS Financial Aid portal. Yeah. Then the last part will be the tuition fee loan. And this one is a bit different as it's not administered by NUS. So you will need to apply directly through the bank, which is OCBC or DBS in Singapore. This is the list for the deadlines for the financial aids. For the loans, as you can see, the first one is the tuition fee loan. They mention late application is still accepted, so no worries. For the NUS loan, they open throughout the academic year, so you still can apply even if you are late. For bursaries, for the donated bursaries, do apply by 1st of March if you want to be considered earlier, but no worries, you can still apply after 1st of March. And for college grant and hall bursary, you need to refer back for the respective hall of residence. And finally, for scholarship, which I will be explain more further, for ASEAN scholarship, you no need to apply separately. Yeah, you will be considered when you apply for admission to NUS, and it's the same with the admission application deadline. Okay, finally, we have gone to scholarship section. Okay, pray hard to get lah. Hope you all can get your ASEAN scholarships. for scholarship and administered by NUS is the ASEAN undergraduate scholarships. And the thing is, you don't need to apply separately, as I have mentioned just now, because NUS will send you an invitation email if they think you are eligible for this scholarship. Yeah, so do pray hard and do check up your email regularly to see whether they send you an scholarship interview. Yeah. And this ASEAN scholarship is most likely and the most common scholarship that offer to us like Malaysian. And it covers all the tuition fee after the tuition grant. And they also covers like allowance of 5,800 per year. The next thing is the scholarship that is not administered by NUS. And of course, you need to apply separately and it's generally more difficult to get it. And this is some of the list. And the one which highlighted in red is more common than the other three. You can look for these and apply for them. And finally is the last part, which is the cost of living in Singapore. So many people is asking, is Singapore really expensive? Okay, let's go. This is the monthly breakdown in Sing dollar. So we can see here we have hall, we have colleges, we have PGPR, UTR. What is this? This all is like the different type of accommodation in NUS. So their pricing, of course, is different. So the hall is the most cheap, I would say. It's range from like $300 something. And the most expensive will be the colleges, which can go up to like $640. So your accommodation for a month will be range from 300 to 600 something. And for food, okay, for food, right, if you stay in hall or colleges, you will have like a meal plan thing. Yeah, so you will just need to go to like canteen to buy your food during weekends. Yeah, so the food will be around like $300 to $400, depends on how you eat, how much you eat lah. Yeah. And then transportation fee is the like MRT, your public bus, it will range like around $20 a month. Telco is the SIM card, like the prepaid card or your data plan. It range around $10 to $20. And then entertainment, okay, this really varies between people. It depends on how frequent you go out to have like to chill, to play, to like watch movie. Yeah, it varies. So I think it's around $40 in average, but it really varies. So the last part will be the personal expenses. It covers like your groceries, like toiletries and others. It will range like $50. So you can see the total, the money for the monthly breakdown in Sing dollar will be like 700 plus to $1,000 plus. So it is around like 3,000 ringgit a month maximum. It's average lah. Okay, so it depends on you on how much you spend. And this one is the pie chart. As you can see, most of your money will be gone to accommodation fee. And the next will be food. And others, I think, is quite little. And then the total for like a month is roughly around 900 something to 1,000. So you can say like 1 month will be spending around $1,000. So finally, now is our Q&A time. So please do drop some burning question into the whole EV link, and I will be answering the question now. Let me share screen first.
In the meantime, we still encourage everyone to turn on your camera if you want to join us in like this event. Yeah, like to use
and use our virtual backgrounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question will be, does the ASEAN scholarship cover the miscellaneous student fees as well? Yes, it covers. It covers your tuition fee, miscellaneous fees, and also they will give you allowance, like living allowance. The second thing is tuition grant guaranteed as a Malaysian. Okay, this one is I would say like majority of us have received the tuition grant. but I would not say is you need to apply for tuition grant. Yeah, but it's not guaranteed. If you do not want to apply for tuition grant, then you will need to pay for like the full fee for the tuition fee, which is more expensive. Yeah, it depends. How much more money do we need if we gotten the ASEAN scholarship? So, because they already cover like tuition fees and the living allowance, so it depends on how much you spend a month, because their living allowance, they give like $5,800 a year. So you can count like average 1 month, how much will you spend on your expenses. Yeah. So if you save money, then maybe the amount for the ASEAN scholarship is enough for you. But I would say like you can prepare some extra money to Singapore to
Wait,
spend.
sorry. Actually, can we go back to the first question?
Oh,
So
sorry.
actually the miscellaneous fees are not covered. So they will deduct the money from your 5,800. Yeah, so they will automatically deduct for you.
Okay,
They
thanks
only
for the
cover your
clarification.
tuition fees. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, next. The ASEAN scholarship doesn't cover accommodation, living expenses, right? Okay, so they give the tuition fees and they give 5,800 for your living allowance. So it depends on how you spend the 5,800. Maybe on your hostel fees. Yeah. So if you join the work study scheme, we'll be able to cover those expenses. So actually the work study scheme is like you need to opt for like part-time work in NUS. So you will be earning extra money through your part-time work to cover your expenses. Yeah. It's optional whether you want to take up part-time job during your studies. And next, is the financial aid a must for people applying for tuition grant and scholarships in the tuition grant? Okay, if you have already gotten the scholarship, like the ASEAN scholarship, then it's optional for you to apply for financial aid. Because I'm not wrong that some of the financial aid, they give you like extra money for you to cover your living allowance if you are not enough after you get the scholarship. Yeah, so you will still can apply for the financial aid even you have got the scholarship. Does the NUS offer letter and scholarship offer arrive together? I think no, because I remember is they will give you the offer letter first, and then you will need to wait for their NUS scholarship interview. Then after that, it depends on whether you get the scholarship. Yeah, so it's separately. Next is IB students scoring above were told that since it was said that I'm not sure about this question. Does any seniors know for this? Because yeah, I not really know this for now. Okay, I will put here first. What are the processes for ASEAN scholarship and application? Okay, as I mentioned that scholarship doesn't need to apply separately. You will be automatically considered when you apply for NUS. So you will just need to pray hard to get the magic email from NUS that, oh, congratulations that you received an scholarship interview. Yeah, do pray hard for the scholarships. What is the eligibility for N-level applying for scholarship? I think there's don't have any criteria for the scholarship as long as you hit the minimum requirement for applying the courses. Yeah, you can refer to the admission website in NUS. Are there any? Yeah, work study scheme actually is just like you take part in part-time work, whether in maybe like in NUS restaurant or NUS libraries, that you can gain some work experience and also gain some extra money to cover your living allowance. Yeah, you can do that. Is it true that only 90 RPers get offered AUS?
Under this question, so
Okay.
for this one, right, is for Singapore A levels. The answer is not true. There are some people that I know personally that didn't get 90 rank points for, but they still got passing scholarship. However, please take note that we are not the admission office, so we can't say for sure like what's the cutoff if there's any cutoff at all. So I think again, try your best to score as well as possible for your A levels or whatever qualification that you have to as you apply for NUS. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Next question. What's the requirement for full scholar? Okay, the same thing is as long as you hit the target for the minimum requirement, like for maybe you are applying for business and you will need like 3 A's to apply for business. As long as you hit the course requirement, then you are automatically be considered for the scholarship. Yeah. Do all the dorms have aircon? Okay, we have like halls of residential, college, and yeah, residence. And for some of the dorms, they do not have aircon, and some of the dorms they do have, but you will need to pay extra money for the aircon. Yeah, we will cover more about the halls and the accommodation later on. Hi there, Judy. Okay, I think this question, any seniors can say about the requirement, like what's the cap to retain these scholarships?
3.5.
Okay, 3.5.
Yeah.
Over 5. Okay.
Yes.
3.5 over 5 is like an average of a B in
B and B minus, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think y'all can do lah. Yeah, you're so smart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so if you
easy.
get a scholarship, this shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Because it's quite difficult to get a scholarship. Yeah. So I think the minimum requirement is just nothing for y'all. My lecturer said it's very hard for A-level students to apply for NUS. I think this is not really true. It depends because I'm from A-levels also. As long as you study hard and aim for like many A's as you can, then and showcase more on your achievement in the personal statement, and you can still get it. Yeah, it weights more to grades I would say, applying for NUS. So just study hard and pray hard. Do we have roommates in the dorm or we use? Oh, okay. This one, right? We have in halls, we have like single room and double room. So I'm staying in single room, so you will not have any roommates. And for double room for now, some of the double room they open for receiving roommates. So it depends on how the COVID-19 situation. Yeah, for now, I think mostly the double room is still like single person staying inside. Yeah. Do we need to maintain grades? Okay,
you
sorry.
have 1 more minute. You have 1 more minute.
Sure.
You can accept 1 more question.
Okay, sure. Okay, this one I have answered. Is it true that ASEAN scholarship unlimited in number for those? Yeah, I would say medicine is, I think it's very hard to get the scholarship, but I'm not sure for dentistry and law. Yeah, I think you can still apply and wait for the email. Then do you apply for scholarship? No need to apply for scholarship. Okay, automatically considered. Okay, is the financial aid guarantee even after we have offered? No, you need to apply for the financial aid to be eligible. Okay, I think, is it hard to get scholarship offer? It depends. Yeah. Okay, could you please share this slide in WhatsApp group? I think this slide will be sharing to you through email, I think, by the committee member. So no worries. Yeah, all the information we'll be sharing for you. And thanks, Guy, for listening. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rusin, for that wonderful introduction. Okay. Well, you may stop sharing now. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, while academics does play a part in your NUS life, student life, but there are a lot, okay, I don't emphasize this, a lot of avenues for you to make friends here in NUS. After all, uni is your last phase of life where you can have less responsibilities before you transition to working life. And for those who ask whether it's hard to make friends in NUS, please listen carefully from now on. Now let's invite our next speakers, Haley, Homan, and Liang, to share with you about our student life in NUS. And they will also be sharing their personal take on the journey in NUS for you to decide whether NUS is the right choice for you. Haley, Homan, okay, Liang, please. Thank you.
Yo, hi guys. Thank you so much, Yongyang. Yeah, so Haley.
Okay, hi guys. Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the start of the Why Singapore and Why Not Singapore segment of the outreach program. I think, okay, before we proceed, before we proceed, we just want to say that all information here is not intended as a substitute for professional advice. Our experiences as NUS students might differ from other students, and you might find that after enrolling in NUS, you might or might not have different experiences. Should you decide to act upon any information in this presentation, please do so at your own risk. Okay, so yes.
Okay, all right, thank you, Haley. So why don't we begin? So here's a brief overview of what we are going to be talking about today. First, I'll be introducing the three idiots, as you can see, who you'll be forced to listen to. And then we'll get into the good stuff, the not so good stuff, and finally our FAQ and Q&A session. If you have any questions throughout our presentation, do post them in the link above, like the presentation slides. And yeah, do refrain from unmuting. We'll be answering every burning question you have, including potentially Haley's phone number, Liang's secret girlfriend, and etc. So do note we have a new link above. Do not use the old link. And yeah, let's get on to it. Cool. So first off, we have Haley, our basic whitewash Starbucks loving ex-life science STEM girl. But as you can see, yeah, she decided to hop on the tech hype and decided to switch over to data science and analytics. Next up, you have yours truly. Hi, my name is Homan. I am a CS major and I live in Raffles Hall. I love Frisbee and bouldering, so if you want to avoid freshman 15, hit me up. Yeah, and finally, we have our favorite double major. Oh, yeah. Hello? Oh, he dropped physics. Oh. Anyways, he's great at video editing. He is single, possibly. I don't know. You can find out about them all. And among us, the most likely to graduate, we have Liang. Yeah. So let's start this presentation off. Okay. So some good stuff and why we haven't dropped out yet. So here are some pretty good stats to keep you motivated during your 5 a.m. study grinds. First off, we are pretty high on the QS world rankings at number 11, and we also do relatively well on subject rankings if you want to flex that. Secondly, our tuition fees with tuition grant, specifically with tuition grant, is pretty cheap, especially if you compare it to similar unis in UK, US, and Australia. Finally, we also have a pretty solid 94% employment rate, which means you will most probably be able to find jobs and work. If not, you can always just work at McDonald's for $12 an hour, and it's so much better than Malaysia. But yeah, that's just an advice from me. Stay in school, kids, and yeah, I'll pass the time back to Haley.
Okay, all right, okay. I'm moving on to some very important points that made me choose Singapore as a place to study. First of all, it has a very clean and safe environment. If you don't know me, I am a germaphobe. I like myself clean, and I also like to walk around free at night and 10 p.m. and not worry about getting into any danger whatsoever. So yes, this was like a very big point for me. So yeah. Second, there are many opportunities available, such as student exchange programs, leadership opportunities, and internships. Thirdly, I'm also grateful for the efficient public transportation system, which makes it easy for me to get from one place to another. And it's also cheap, which is great for us broke uni students, you know. So yeah, okay. Other good points include an efficient COVID-19 task force and the declining rates of COVID-19 transmission in the community, which means that you are less likely to get COVID-19. Of course, the transmission rate may or may not change in the near future, but with an efficient COVID-19 task force, I don't feel a need to worry about getting COVID, you know. Yeah. Okay. So one thing I also like is that there is a variety of CCAs to choose from. So like you don't just have your basic CCAs like football and badminton. Okay, no offense to those who love these sports, but okay, they also have like a variety. So like if you want to try new things like rock climbing, rollerblading, and many more, yes, you can also like try them out here. So yeah, I also don't feel like I have to worry about falling sick too much because of the excellent healthcare here. I mean, okay, look at the COVID-19 situation. Singapore was one of the first few countries to approve and get the COVID-19 vaccines. So yes. And finally, in comparison to the UK, Australia, and US, I feel like it is somewhat easier to assimilate into Singapore society, as Malaysians and Singaporeans are quite similar in the way we speak. We both use like la, le, but yeah, just know that Singaporeans do use a few terms that will make you be like, huh? When you first hear it, like books, which is like bopian, or like mugging, which means studying very hard. But I think all in all, it's like not really that hard to like blend in and assimilate. So yes, yes. Okay, moving on. Liang, yes. Okay. Okay, wait, hold on. It's not technical difficulties. Okay.
Okay, so now let's talk about some of the not so fun parts about being an international uni student in Singapore, also known as why we might drop out soon, right? So here we have a picture of the Malaysian 50 ringgit note, right? And on the right, we have a picture of the Singaporean $50 note. Now, as an econs major, I can very firmly say that despite having the exact same number on both notes, they do not mean the same thing. The one on the right is actually worth 3 times more than the one on the left. Now, therefore, here's how you're gonna spend your very first year in Singapore, right? You're gonna walk into a fair price, you're gonna walk into like a supermarket or something, you're gonna see a bar of chocolate, right? And it's gonna have like the price of like, say $3. And you go, hey, you know, that doesn't sound so bad. I might get that as a snack later, right? You know, in Malaysia, it was worth about like 3 ringgit as well. Wait a minute. See, now this is where the part of your brain called your conscience comes in, right? So for the first few months, we estimate that, you know, every time you see a price, like in a restaurant or in the supermarket or whatever, you know, your brain's just gonna automatically multiply everything by 3 times. You know, that $3 bar of chocolate, that's actually worth 9 ringgit, not 3 ringgit. Keep that in mind. And, you know, this will probably continue for about like the 4th month or the 5th month. And this when, you know, you finally start to move past denial and you enter the stage we call acceptance, right? You know, you start telling yourself that, you know what, if I went to Australia or like the UK instead, I'd be spending a hell of a lot more money than I am right now. So, you know, you start feeling less bad, and you know, pretty soon, you know, you just stop converting, right? School life is stressful enough already. You know, we're out shopping and stuff. You know, keep it in mind, but don't let it bother you too much, right? So yeah, just enjoy. Anyways, here's some other bad stuff about Singapore. You know, whether you just have too many interests to explore, or you just really want to stay in hall for some reason. Just simply having so many options in terms of extracurriculars might easily, like, you might be easily tricked into overcommitting. And this can be a problem because sometimes things like Zoom meetings, writing up proposals, making posters and stuff like that can easily take up just as much time as any of your modules in NUS. And you know, work life, we all know how important work-life balance is, but it's quite hard to maintain in NUS like a solid balance because you know, you got your academics, which are really hard, you got to study for, you got your CCA commitments, and you also need time to relax and socialize as well. So yeah. Speaking of academics, NUS is definitely no cakewalk by any means. If anyone has ever told you uni is super chill compared to A-levels, OSMAT, whatever, you know, chances are they probably didn't go to a Singaporean uni. I'll just say that. Your grades are highly dependent on this wonderful concept we call the bell curve, right? Whereby your grades aren't just dependent on how well you do on exam, but how well you do compared to the rest of your cohort, right? So 80% could mean an A-, 80% could also mean a C+. It's very volatile, very unpredictable, so you gotta keep that in mind. And next up, we mentioned just now that public transport is much more reliable here. However, it does not change the fact that it takes absolutely forever to get anywhere still. say you want to travel like a few kilometers outside of NUS, right? Go Clementi for shopping or something. That can take about 20 or 30 minutes just from the buses, the MRT changes and all that. So, if you need to go anywhere important, like say your ICA appointment on the other side of the country, do keep travel times in mind. For some other bad stuff, leisure activities are a lot more expensive here than in Malaysia. You definitely won't find any cheap theme parks, karaoke's, supper, etc. here. Even just simply ordering a meal on Grab, right, can easily bring you up to like $20, which is like 60 ringgit per person. It's like insane, right? So yeah. Also, most classes are still online, but this is very dependent on your faculty. Disclaimer. But a lot of classes are still online, so making friends is harder than it was before because if it's Zoom, then you barely have any interactions with your classmates or your professors, your lecturers, your TAs. So a lot of times it feels like you're just watching like a YouTube video online, or you're doing an online course on Coursera. So you might feel like you're missing out a bit on the usual university studying experience. And also, I'd like to bring up accommodation is not super long term. Because most international students, we only stay for about 2 years, not 4. It's very hard to stay 4 years on campus, let's just say that. You can only stay about 2 years, but we'll get into accommodation in more detail later on. And last but not least, in my opinion, NUS's mental health care isn't that great. In fact, I think it's pretty superficial because, in an environment such as Singapore, in the top uni in Singapore, academic stress is really high. And if sometimes NUS's idea of solving that problem is just by slapping a random holiday in the middle of SEM, which can may or may not disrupt timetables. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Overall, I think we think there are pros and cons to living in Singapore, but in our personal opinion, the pros definitely make coming to Singapore worth to study. I mean, there is a reason why we're still here, right? Yeah. So besides, there's always a way to navigate yourself out of cons and still make the best out of your student life. The way we see it is there are pros and cons of studying abroad anywhere you go. It's just how you want to deal with them. So yes. Okay, moving on to student life. Okay, so first off, we'll start off with the academic calendar, followed by facilities available, and next up we have some university-wide events that are trademarked to NUS. Then we'll go into talking about some CCAs that NUS has to offer, and finally we'll talk about the accommodation available at NUS, because unless you want to be homeless for 4 years, you're going to need a place to stay, right? So yes, okay. So first up, the academic calendar, right? Okay, so this is like a simple breakdown of what one academic year looks like. You start semester 1 in August, followed by winter break in December, even though Singapore has no winter. And after Christmas and New Year's, we come back for semester 2 in January. And then after another long and tiring semester, we have a 3-month long break from early May to early August. Repeat this about 4 times, and soon enough, you'll be graduating with a degree and hopefully some good memories associated with NUS, despite all the stress. Yes. This is just a brief overview, but if you want to look at a more detailed version of the academic calendar, please feel free to scan the QR code at the top right of the slide. Don't worry about not being able to scan this QR code and other QR codes that will be in this presentation later on, because we will be sending out the slides to you all after this presentation. So yes, I shall move on. Okay, so next up is facilities, right? I really do hope you guys plan to use the facilities offered by NUS after all the money that is being spent on your tuition fees. Okay, so first up, some study spots, because I know some of y'all are thinking, what are some nice study spots in NUS so I can study my life away, or like the Singaporean term, mug my life away. So, and get straight A's. I suggest getting a balanced timetable, but I'll tell y'all some nice spots first, okay? So first off, we have like the Mac Commons, which is like quite popular with all the Mac desktops if you want a bigger screen to see your assignments on. Then we have the Central Library. Here say got bean bags and sofas for you to lie down on if you want to take a short nap from all the mugging. Then we have UTown Starbucks on days where you're feeling a bit rich and you feel like you want to splurge and spoil yourself with some Starbucks while studying. Best place to study if you like to eat while studying as well. Next up, we have some sports facilities for those of y'all who like to stay active and like just be active. So, okay, we have the very well-equipped UTown gym that is quite popular. I think you need to make appointments to use the gym, especially now with COVID. Yes, and we also have a swimming pool in Newtown. And hey, you know what? If that swimming pool is not enough, we do have an Olympic-sized swimming pool and at University Sports Center, along with many other sports facilities inside of University Sports Center. Okay, unfortunately, we do not have the time to go through every single facility, but yes, here are the QR codes. Scan them later. Okay, so yeah.
Cool. Whoa. So here in NUS, we have a pretty bustling student life. And here are some university-wide, events that you might be interested in joining. So first off, we have our flagship Rag and Flag, which is basically a university-wide charity where students get together for dance and a bunch of other fun stuff. We also have a wide range of orientation programs that you can sign up for, including our very own MSL University Freshman Camp, orientation camp. Sign up for that as you will see most of us there. In NUS, there's also many other camps for freshmen to meet people from your hall, your RCs, or even your faculty. Do note that signups are totally on your own accord, so do sign up for a few of them, and admission is not guaranteed. So yeah, just sign up on time and sign up for a few of them. Finally, if you're interested in any specific NUS-wide CCA, or you're just trying to find something new to try out, you can come down to the Student Life Fair that will be happening in the start of semester 1. So yeah, that's a brief overview. So here are some links where you can read up on what we've mentioned and find out other things, because like we mentioned, NUS has so much, just so much going on.
Okay, next up, we have some CCAs, okay, like spend your time not studying, okay, please have a vibrant student life. NUS has over 220 plus CCAs split into 11 categories, as you can see over here. We will be sharing our own experiences with our own CCAs. We invite you to scan the QR code on the screen to find out more about the 220 plus CCAs available in your own free time. So yes, I think I will go first. I'm part of one of the faith-based CCAs, which is NUS Catholic Student Society, because I'm a Catholic girl. We have cell groups and fellowship events, which gets like us to bond and have fun together. And I'm also part of the Public Health Society, specifically the Spectrum Subcommittee. And as a Spectrum member, we're currently busy with rolling out mental health workshops to the various residential colleges to challenge the stigma around mental health and encourage students to better equip themselves to be better peer supporters to those in need. Being a part of Spectrum has been actually really rewarding, because not only am I learning more about mental health, I am actively making a difference in the communities that I am a part of. Yes. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, as for me, I don't have slides for it, but I'll quickly run through all the CCAs. As I mentioned, I am in Raffles Hall, so that's where most of my commitment is. I'm a part of technically 5 CCAs. I'm part of Tech Crew, which is our light, sound, and live streaming department. I am a part of Phoenix Studios, our video editing suite. I'm a part of Blogcom, which plans events for our blog people. I am a part of Rock, which is our orientation camp for next year. So if you guys are going to Raffles Hall, I'll see you there. And finally, I'm a part of Ultimate Frisbee. As for NUS White CCAs, I am a part of the computing club. So if you're gonna come join us at FSC, which is the Freshman Social Camp, I will see you there. Yeah, that was really quick. On to you, Liang.
Oh, yeah, so I live in King Edward VII Hall. Some of the CCAs I'm in are band, motion, hall play, basically I'm in a lot of technical stuff. And, depending on the halls, I can say like CCAs, they definitely vary in terms of commitment levels. So some are just like once a week. Some you have like projects like pretty much every single week. So yeah, do sign up at your own risk. But if you do want to stay in hall, I'd say, yeah, just go for as many as you can so you can get the full experience.
All right, okay.
Cool. Yeah, I think we don't have much time. So we'll just like try to breeze through this as fast as possible. So yeah, Haley, let's just get on it quick.
Right.
Cool. So these are the few different types of residences. Take your time to read through the different, like everything in there. As you can see, basically, yeah, all the information is right there. You can refer to this later. We don't have enough time, sadly, to talk about this more. Read in your own free time. Next.
Okay, note that if you want to apply for RCs, you have to apply before you even get your NUS acceptance offer, right? And this is completely expected here. You have to apply around February to March. So yes, please get on. You have to write essays. So yeah, just something to note. That's all.
Yeah. So in halls, very quickly, we have single rooms, double rooms, a bunch of normal stuff, dining hall, pantry, gyms, everything that you would expect. But we have no aircon, so that's one thing to note. We are the only place without aircon. Next.
All right. Okay. So for like halls of residence, sorry. Go ahead. Hold on.
Okay. So very quickly, this is just my hall life. So door deco is very big in our hall. We have just click through everything. That's our hall cat. That's my friends and I, and yeah. So hall life is basically very fun but very commitment heavy. On to you, Hayley.
Okay. Do you wanna run through this?
Oh. Yeah, quickly, don't apply to halls based on location, apply to them based on culture. So yeah, just read through that. Raffles Hall being best hall is my opinion solely. So yeah, do what you want with that information.
Right. Okay. Okay. So like for residential colleges, which is I am in one of them. So like here is the room. You have single rooms. You have suite rooms, which you are sharing with 6 people, but you have your own single room. So yeah, then this is like the dining hall. Yeah, this is like an angels and mortals like prank that I did. Then there's like chalking, which you chalk your door. And then you have like interest groups, like I mentioned, like tea bladers, like rollerblading, and like these are like my suite mates that I share like a suite with. And this is the amazing view, which is not big to join the Musu, but yes, and this is like our sweet hotpot. So yes, just briefly, Tembusu is like the one that I'm in, and then like the residential college there's Bridgeview, there's Cinnamon College, and College of Alice and Peter Tan. So like basically like the residential colleges require you to take modules, and like they are based on like the culture that they have. So like you can read here in your own time again. We don't have enough time, so I'll just like move on. So yes, okay.
Okay, last but not least, we have the 2 student residences, PGPR and UTR. So, you know, if committing to extracurriculars, hall CCAs, interest groups, there aren't your thing, you know, you just want to sit down and focus on what you came here for, which is your studies in peace, then these are probably the places for you. You know, most international students, if they fail to get into halls or RCs, then they'll be kicked here for 2 years instead. There's loads of facilities here. Loads of study rooms, music rooms, gyms, etc., sports courts. But good thing is you don't have to compete with hall CCAs for like booking those facilities. So you can just walk on it if there's no one using it. And in terms of location, they're both pretty good, but in different ways. PGPR is close to Cambridge MRT, very close. So if you need to go anywhere outside of NUS, it's really close. UTR smack in the middle of Newtown, got the best views, got the best study places. And yeah, that's about it.
Right, okay, come on.
Cool. So yeah, that's all from us. Sorry that we have to rush through the ends, but to find out more, you can scan those QR codes. Now, yeah, let's get to the burning questions that you guys have for us.
Okay, I shall just move on. Hold on.
Cool,
all right.
cool.
Okay. Can you see? Can you guys see? All right. Okay. How fast do I need to do my hostel application after my offer? I think somebody can explain this for halls. RCs is you apply before you even get your application offer. For halls, Homan Liang.
Yeah, for halls you can apply after, but most people apply like right at the time you get your offer. So do research on that early and find out which hall you want to apply to. And yeah, you even have to write a CV and all. So just be prepared to apply early. Even though there's 3 rounds, most of the time halls are filled within the first round. So yeah.
Okay, is Central Library open 24/7? I'm not really sure about this. I don't really use. If so, we are able to live there for 4 years. Please don't. Please do not. Yes, okay.
But
is it open?
Sadly, no. Central Library is not open 24/7.
It closes at the most inconvenient time. So like, it closes damn early these days. It's like 6 p.m. or something. And on Sundays, it's not even open at all. So it's not really that good of a place to camp like long term, I guess, every single day.
Yeah, I would recommend ERC as a study spot. Pretty solid place.
Yeah, in Utah.
Yeah, in Utah.
Okay. Yes, Utah. Yeah. Okay, how would you all rate your NUS life up till now? I think out of 5, I would rate it a 4 because maybe 1 is for like the stress. The pros, like student environment, I think is really good. I quite like the people around me and the student environment. What about like Koman and Liang?
Liang, you want to go first?
So because of online school, I haven't had much opportunity to like meet most of my classmates and stuff. So most of my community, most of my friends are from right here, MSL, right? So if we're judging based on that, on my own experience, I give it a solid like 4.5 out of 5 as well. So yeah.
Great. Okay.
Solid. For me, I've managed to make quite a lot of friends living in a hall. Like hall is usually where a lot of like more sociable people, I guess, go. Like we even have this thing called the open door policy where we basically don't lock our doors and like we just go to each other's room. So if you're into that, you can make a lot of friends that way. And as for faculty wise, I've only had a few physical classes, so not many friends there as well. But yeah, I'm grateful for all the friends I've met here. They're really great.
Okay, moving on. Is Utown residence relatively expensive? I think it is a bit more expensive than the others, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
For residential colleges suites, do you get to choose your suite mates? You do not get to choose your suite mates. What are the restrictions, age and gender? So basically, they will group you with, okay, you have mixed gendered floors, but you do not have mixed gendered suites. So you get to apply, you get to indicate your preference, whether you'd mind living on a mixed gendered floor. So just apply, just indicate your preference that you don't want to, if you don't want to. Your suite mates are not, you don't get to choose them. You are mixed with like year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, even if they are. And yes, it's just random people. Is it difficult to survive in NUS if my English sucks? A lot of the courses are in English. The readings are English heavy, but it's not impossible. Like I don't think it's impossible. Is if you try hard enough, can one. But I would recommend to brush up on English if it really does suck, because it's gonna be harder, an uphill battle. So yes, okay, next.
Yeah, and I think like besides academics, even socially, most people speak English here. Like some can speak Chinese, but like let's say international students. Recently, we had a whole flood of them come in for exchange. Yeah, you generally want to have like pretty alright. Just you don't need amazing English skills. You just need regular English skills to just communicate and like meet people. And I think you'll be good.
Okay.
For English one,
is at Cinnamon College. Yes, I think so. Yes, correct. Yes, Yong Yang, what do you want to say?
okay, for English, you don't have to worry, because if you tell the professor that your mother tongue is not English and you had difficulty in English, they will help you. Because I have a friend who is a Taiwanese. All he needs to do is to talk to the professor and they will help you.
All right, okay. We have time for 3 more questions. Is it very hard to get a hall offer? I think it's not hard to get hall offer because international students are guaranteed 2 years.
No.
If you apply maybe round 1, chances you have a decent CV, you'll probably get.
Okay, I think there's a lot of factors here. One, it depends on which hall you want to apply to. Second, it depends on your track record. So like if you have a bunch of CCAs, let's say you have a bunch of sports CCAs, then getting into the sports halls pretty okay. Let's say you got more culture CCAs like dance and so on. I think Shears and Cambridge are easier to get in. But something to note that I found really interesting is they actually stop your online profile. So actually really, I'm not even kidding you right now, having a good like social media presence is actually important into getting into hall. Not the most important, but they do stop you to see like generally how active you are. And you're not guaranteed stay at hall. That's that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, how many CCAs do we need, or how active do we need to secure a place for next year in halls? Homan, Liang.
Depends on halls. For Raffles and KE, generally we have this rule of the top 4 rule. Basically, they will only take points from the top 4 CCAs, top 4 like highest point CCAs of yours to stay second year. Whereas other halls might take every like CCA. So generally a good number would be, I would say 4 to even 6, 7. Like having 5 is pretty normal in hall. Yeah.
Okay, we have time for 1 more question. Liang, Homan, please choose.
That's good. Diploma programs. NUS doesn't give us diploma programs. Just saying. If you want diploma programs, apply to Poly. Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay. Okay, suite mates, same throughout the years? No. Okay, that's all. Okay, I will stop share now and hand over the time. Okay, bye guys.
Thanks for listening. Hope you guys found out what you needed to know.
One UFO. See you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, the 3 speakers, Haley, Homan, and Liang, for sharing. So I think we have come to the end of our first segment. So where we share about all the application details. So we'll be having a short 10 minutes break for now, and where we will transition to our next segment where we be having all our course talks. But before we end off to our before we go on to our toilet break, can I invite everyone to turn on your camera and use our virtual background where we will have a very quick group photo to remember this event. Yeah. So can everyone just turn on your camera, please?
We want to see your beautiful and handsome faces.
Come on. I'll give one more minute there for everyone to turn on your camera.
Turn your camera, and our photographer, Chin Yi, will be helping us to take the picture.
Yep, don't be shy.
Turn on the cameras. Great. Oh, I see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, just a quick photo. Come on, one more minute. So you need some time to set up the camera and all.
Yep. Wait for you for another 1 minute. Yes.
Okay, I think a lot of people turn on your camera. Qian, do you want to take a picture?
We can wait for another while. Yeah.
Yep, I think we can go ahead and take our pictures. So Qian.
Okay, everybody, 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, thank you.
Wait, so far. Wait, Qian, are you done?
All right.
Wait,
Yes,
Qian, you done?
I'm done.
Okay, awesome. All right,
Thank
so
you.
we'll move on to we'll go on for a short toilet break. So we'll be back at 3:55. So everyone just be back at 3:55. So yeah, so see you in a bit.
Yes. See you.
All right, it's 3:55. I think we can move on to our next segment where we have all the cost sharing. Yep. So is Chen there? Hello, are you there, Chen? All right. So before we get started with all the course briefing, right, we'll have Chen Yi, one of our core member, to brief you about like how this segment is going to work. So Chen Yi, please.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to the outreach event. Hope that everyone had a fresh toilet break. So let's move on to the second half of the event. So our seniors will be giving a breakdown of some of the courses offered by NUS. But before that, I'll be going through a quick overview of the major faculties in NUS. Okay, so first up, we have a recent merger between the Faculty of Science and Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. It's named the College of Humanities and Sciences, CHS. So they pride themselves on providing an interdisciplinary education. So they offer courses like life sciences, political sciences, and English literature. Next up, we have the School of Business, Computing, Yong Lun Lin School of Medicine, Dentistry, Yong Siu To Music Conservatory. And then finally, we have the College of Design and Engineering with courses like architecture and various streams of engineering. Okay, so here is the table of the indicative grade profile for some courses. We chose some of the more common courses. So if you don't find your own course here, don't fret because we provided a link there where you can refer. So let me give you a brief explanation of how to interpret the table. So basically the 10th percentile, it means that 90% of the admitted applicants achieve at least this grade, and the 90th percentile means that 10% of admitted applicants achieve at least this grade. So it's a very good gauge of like how competitive your course is and the quality of applicants expected of the courses. So while this is not like directly transferable to like the qualifications you may have in Malaysia. So for example, you're taking international A-levels, these IGP scores are based on the Singapore A-levels, but I would still say it's a good gauge, it's a good guide for you to determine. Yeah, and just a disclaimer that meeting the previous year's grade of course does not necessarily guarantee admission. So just use it as a guide. Yeah, so here you can refer to some other brochures that the Office of Admissions produce. Okay, so this is the timeline for the second half of the event. So we are currently in the main room and the course talks will always be happening in the main room. But simultaneously, there'll be breakout rooms open for you to jump around and ask the seniors questions. But so during a specific talk section, so for example, business, you may want to jump out of the breakout room and be in the main room where the real talk is happening. But all the other times you may go to the breakout rooms where you want to inquire about. Yeah, so the breakout rooms will be open until the end of the event and feel free to hop in anytime after you finish listening to the talks you're interested in. Just a brief guide on how to join a breakout room if you're new to Zoom is you'll see in the bottom panel as highlighted by the red box that's this icon of breakout rooms. Then you just click on it. Yeah, and then you can just join any breakout room that you're interested in joining. They'll be labeled accordingly. Yeah, and once you're inside a breakout room and say you want to choose another breakout room, there's this option that's highlighted. So take note that when you want to leave a breakout room and go to say the main room, back to the main room, be careful not to be too hasty and then see that you're selecting the right thing, which is leaving the breakout room, not leaving the meeting, because you will have to rejoin the meeting if you click the wrong thing. Yeah, so that's all for this brief overview.
All right, so thank you, Chen, so much for the briefing for this segment. So we'll first welcome, we'll begin with our first course sharing. So we'll first welcome speakers from the Faculty of Science. So for this segment, we have speakers from every almost from a number of courses in Faculty of Science. So they'll be sharing some common modules, common experience with regards to the Faculty of Science, and also some certain things that are specific to your own courses. So the speakers, please.
Okay, I'll share my screen.
Okay, before that, so now I'll open up the breakout room for everyone. So if you're interested in science talk, you can stay in the main room, so you don't join the breakout room yet. And if you are not interested in science, you have any burning questions about specific course related questions, you can join the breakout room and ask the questions there. So there'll be seniors there to answer your questions. Okay, so everything is clear, right? Yeah. Okay, now I'll open the breakout rooms for you. Okay, so if you want to join any room, you can feel free to join. Yeah. If you want to listen to FOS talk, you can. You want to listen to science talk, you can stay in the main room. Yeah. Okay, I'll hand back over the time to Seki.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so welcome everyone to the Faculty of Science. So today we'll be giving you a brief run through about our courses, more specifically about what it entails and our personal experiences from it. So firstly, we'll go through on what is CHS, and then we'll move on to our course sharing session. So before that, I would like to introduce ourselves. So I'm Sei, I'm from Life Sciences, and along with me there's Jason, also from Life Science, and then there's Chuan Jun from Physics, Kai Xin from Data Science and Analytics, and Ziheng from Mathematics. So Qian Yi already introduced you CHS, so I'll just briefly go through it with you again. So CHS, like the name implies, it comprises of two departments, so Faculty of Science and the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. But in this session, we'll focus on the Faculty of Science, which have 12 different majors, but we'll only focus on 4 of them today. So CHS, as a CHS student, you will have to take 13 compulsory modules. So this is a list of modules that you don't have to focus on it now, but I'll just tell you my experiences from it. So for example, as a science student, not only I will have to take life science modules, I will also have to take certain modules like computer science modules, writing, data literacy, statistics, and humanities modules. So the opinions regarding CHS modules is really subjective. So some people might find certain modules interesting, some are not. So for example, I'm not really interested in like political science and economics, so not so much, but I have to take a module. So some people might feel like they are forced to take it, but certain modules are interesting, like philosophy modules. So you can actually really enjoy them. Now let's hand over to Jason. Hi, Jason, are you here? Okay, if he's not here, then I'll just continue.
He said Jason has issue with audio, so you have to cover for him. Thank you.
Okay, well, okay, I'll continue. So I'm from the life sciences. So in life science, there's 3 different specializations, but you don't have to think about you can think about what specialization you want, but you don't have to choose it right away from year 1 to year 3. So you can actually declare it later in your university years. So life science is really interesting. So it's very, very broad. So I know some people get confused, like what's the difference between life science and biology? It's sort of like the same thing, except that life science is a bit broader. It includes a little more things than biology. So these are core and specialization. So as a life science student, there's certain modules or subjects that are compulsory that you must take. For example, genetics, biochem, and evolution. And then the specialization, which I mentioned to you just now. Okay, so this is the example of the study plan. It might look like it's a lot, but what I want to emphasize here is that in each year, there is 2 different semesters, and in each semester, students usually take 5 modules, but you can go up to 6 or 7 if you want, but usually it's 5 different modules. Okay, so what's good about life science? So if you want to consider taking life science, I would say that you need to be really, really passionate in it, because if not, you'll suffer a bit, I guess. But I think that just implies to any course. So you have to choose the course that you are really passionate in. So I think that students taking life science are really, really passionate in biology. That's why we take life science. And what's good about it is there's different modes of learning, and there's a lot of field trips, especially if you are an ecology students. And there's a wide range of opportunities like undergraduate research, internship, and so on.
I thought a race car started out of nowhere.
Sorry. Okay, let's continue. So the challenges about biology, about life science is there's a lot of reading. So that's the infamous part about life science. We have really a ton of readings, and certain readings are really difficult to read. So you have to like research and teach yourself sort of, and the long lab hours. But if you enjoy the lab hours, then it's okay. If you don't enjoy lab, it will be a bit tough. Okay, now let's hand over to physics.
Hello, can you all hear me? All right. So hi guys, I'm Tianjun and I'll be presenting on physics. And so as you can see on the slide, there are pictures, and these are actually the things that I did in semester 1 in physics. So as you can see, there's a lot of math, and we wrote an essay on books review in the physics introductory module in this time. Next slide, please. So yeah, these are some of the core modules and specialization in physics. And as you can see in the core section, there's a frontiers in physics, and that is the intro mod that I mentioned just now. And for those specialization, you can look for more information in the study plan, which I've put the link in the slide. Yeah, next slide, please. And so what it takes to study physics. So one word, passion. It's very cliche, but it's true. So the passion, suffer follows. And this is what my prof told us in class, that you have to be mentally prepared for the challenges in physics. Next slide, please. So yeah, this is a sample study plan for a student who wants to specialize in astrophysics. And one thing to mention is that this is not a fixed plan, but it's a recommended pathway for those who want to specialize in astrophysics. And the link for other study plans is on this slide. And as you can see here, there's different color of boxes, and the purple boxes are basically the required modules if you want to do this specialization. And the gray boxes are basically what we call unrestricted electives, and you can choose whatever modules you want for those gray boxes. And if you want to know more about the specialization, you can always go to consult your professor or seniors later. Yeah, next slide, please. So the next thing I'm going to present is the Special Program in Science, SBS. So SBS is basically a 2-year program for all science students to apply, where you can take some SBS specific modules and get some extra research experience as well. And more importantly, you got to be in a smaller community where your friends and peers are all passionate in science. Next slide, please. So yeah, these are all of the modules that we are going to take throughout the 2-year SBS journey. And 4 out of 6 of them can be used to replace the CHS module requirement. And you can look up for more information in the link below. And for now, actually, you don't have to worry about applying to SBS yet, because this will only be your concern after you got accepted into NUS. Next slide, please. So yeah, these are my opinions so far on physics as well as in SBS. So as I said just now, the introductory module was quite chill generally, and profs and tutors and teaching assistants are basically very helpful, and they respond to my email very quickly as well. And I would say that the challenges that I face in physics is that the mathematics is definitely not easy. And if you sometimes feel that you are helpless, you can always you should always go to your professor and maybe your friends to ask about the problems. And I believe this will ease your problem a lot. Yeah, next slide, please. And yeah, this is my timetable for semester 1 if you are in science and SBS at the same time. So this is just a reference for you to estimate your workload if you want to embark on a similar journey as I did. Yeah. So yeah, next I'll be handing the next part to Kai-Xin for data science.
Hi, I'm Kai-Xin, and now I will make a brief introduction towards the data science and analytics which we call the SA. So the SA is mainly focused on 3 subjects, which is mathematics, computer science, and also statistics. For mathematics, it will mainly focus on linear algebra and calculus, included their basics and their applications in data science. Then for computer science, it is important in the SA because we will need to use some programming language like Python and R to carry out our data analysis. Then we will also study statistics like probability and regression analysis, which is important to help us to interpret the data. Next, please. So you can see this is the sample study plan of the SA, and I have attached the link of this sample study plan. You can go to see, and in this page, you can also get some information about the specializations, which is the operational research and the statistical methodology, which one is based on mathematics and one is more based on statistics. Next, please. Okay. So I will give some introduction towards the module, the SA1101, which is the introduction to data science. Because for the calculus and linear algebra, the syllabus are quite similar to our pre-U level, just they will be harder. So for all these 3 modules, we will only study based on lectures and also tutorials. There is no any physical workshops, and the result is 100% based on examinations. So for the SA1101, there will be 3 quiz, 1 midterms, and 1 final. There are no any group discussion or group assignments. And the SA1101 will be a little bit new for those who haven't get in touch to computer science before this. In this module, you will be introduced what actually is the SA need to learn. Like you will learn how to use R to carry out simple data analysis and data grouping. And you will also learn how to interpret the given data and make prediction using different skills in R. Next, please. And what I think good about the SA is that this will be a high demanding jobs in the future since it will be a big data era. So study data science will give you lots of job opportunity after graduation. Also, this course is more suitable for those who love mathematics and also logical thinking because there is no many readings you need to do. And compared to some course that need lots of memorizing, what you will need to do in DSA is just understanding the concept and also learn how to rational thinking. So you will need to do lots of practice if you want to become experts or you want to get good grades in this mod. Okay, so that's all what I want to say. And next, I will pass it to Zihen.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Ziheng, and I will be giving a brief overview of mathematics major and my personal experience studying as a math major student for 1 semester so far. Next, please. So these are the rough topics that will be covered for mathematics major. Basically, mathematics major need to take the compulsory modules as stated at the left side of the slide, such as linear algebra, calculus, and also the gateway or introductory module named Basic Discrete Mathematics, as well as other maths and non-maths modules at our own choice. Optionally, one of the different routes of mathematical specializations can also be chosen, listed at the right side of the slide, each of which occupying 5 modules throughout the whole 4 years of study. Next. So this is the sample study plan for a mathematics major as provided by the Department of Mathematics. As you can see, it's similar to other majors. 2 semesters per year, usually 5 modules per semester. According to this plan, intro mods and university required mods are mostly studied in the first 2 years. After which, then we study more faculty level and elective modules. Next. Here are some of the non-compulsory maths modules available to choose for your reference. These are there are various types of mathematical topics covered in different types of modules, such as number theory, which deals with patterns in numbers and number systems, etc., and also topology, which deals with wholes of shapes. Next. And now I will be talking about SPM, not the Malaysian one, but special program in mathematics. which is a university program tailored for those who feel more confident and capable about their mathematical skill sets. Next. So basically, SPM provides more advanced mathematics class with more proof-centered modules, with longer tutorial hours, higher workload, and smaller admission numbers. SPM modules are indicated by an S at the end of their class or module code. If you want to apply for SPM, you need to have a very good grade, usually at least an A, in the intro module studied during the first year, as stated in the slide. Usually, interested students apply for SPM at the start of year 1 Sem 2 or year 2 Sem 1. Maybe some people might ask what the difference between MA1100 as stated in the slide and MA1100T is, and might not hear the T version from some other seniors. So as a brief explanation, MA1100T is a new variant of the maths intro mode, only introduced recently, and is a more proof-centered mode which acts as a shortcut for people who are interested in applying for SPM. Next. So these are some of the notes and homework that I've worked through during the T version class and that I took last semester. Next. And this is the sample study plan recommended by department for those who are interested. Next. So what are the personal tech studying maths so far? First of all, to me, you need to not only learn a bunch of new concepts and topics not covered in high school or pre-U, but you also need to have a big change in mindset or attitude towards mathematics study itself. So be mentally and of course intellectually prepared for the difficulties that you might face. Of course, if you already have experience in mathematics competitions, you may have a smoother path in adapting the environment. However, if you are into abstract maths, you may worth the challenge. Not to mention studying maths is a good platform to improve logical arguments and also rigorous problem-solving skills. Also, an important point that I want to emphasize is that studying maths in university is not only about computations, which is using formulas to calculate for a target answer. Rather, the main aim of studying maths in uni is more of rediscovering the underlying patterns and reasons behind the construction of different maths formulas and theorems, and then understanding why they are true by doing mathematical proofs. So if you are only expecting solving calculation problems by making use of existing formulas, think twice. Next. So in order to let you make a better decision of whether or not you want to study mathematics major, here are some of the resources that I recommend for those who want to know what to prepare or what to expect in a university mathematics course. So that's all for my section. Thank you for attention.
Okay, thank you very much to our representatives, our volunteers from the Faculty of Science. Next up, we welcome our speakers from the Faculty of Arts and Social Science to share. Okay, what's social science? It's just like normal science, but only more talkative. All right, let's. Pei-Ling and Brenda may share now.
Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, great.
Okay. So greetings everybody, my name is Jai and welcome to the briefing session of Faculty of Arts and Social Science. So to start off with introduction, my name is Jai and my major is communication and new media.
Hello everyone, I'm Brenda. I'm a year 2 student in Fast 2 and I'm a psychology and political science major.
Hi everyone, I'm Pei-Ling and I'm a year 2 economics major with a second major in business. And prior to NUS, I completed the Canadian International Matriculation Program at Sunway College.
So to start off, I'll briefly touch on the college with which FAST belongs to, and it is College of Humanities and Science. It consists of 2 faculties, FAST, and another one is Faculty of Science. So something special about College of Humanities and Science is that it has a lot of common curriculum that requires students to take on. And what FAST has to offer? So if you choose any of the majors that belongs to Asian Studies and Humanities, such as Chinese Language, Global Studies, Japanese Studies, you'll read a 4-year honor degree leading to Bachelor of Arts.
And same for social science. If you choose any of the majors below, such as geography, psychology, economics, you will achieve a Bachelor of Social Science at the end of your studies. Oh, sorry, Bachelor of Social Sciences. And moving on to the CHS Common Curriculum mentioned earlier, it comprises of 3 different sections, which is Common Core, Integrated Modules, and Interdisciplinary.